Good morning, friends. So welcome to another video. I'm just sitting outside. It's kind of frosty today outside. But, so my last video I did was all about the pros and cons to living on the coast. And there's of course some things I forgot. So I thought I would make a part 2. So some of the challenges of living on the coast, and these are going to sound really silly, but honestly, it's still a challenge for me. So number one is the fact that I'm constantly sweeping the floor, like all the time. Like there's pine needles, there's sand, there's always dirt on the floor. Like you just get to a point where you just give up and you're like, okay, the floor is going to be messy. And I think it's a challenge with everyone. Especially as a mom, but my gosh, like I cannot believe it's just constant dirt. so yeah, that is a little bit of a challenge for me. The other quirky challenge is that all my fruits and vegetables go bad so quickly. So if I leave them on the counter, the moisture from the air, along with the fact that we live on the coast, so it takes a while to get like the produce over to us. So the produce isn't as fresh. It just doesn't stay good for very long. So yeah, you definitely have to shop more often and not put your stuff out on the counter. Like I've had green onions out in water, you know, where you can like let them grow more and trim them up, and it just gets moldy and gross. And honestly, it's just such a struggle. It's a struggle with mold, surface mold everywhere. So like I said, with our windows being so wet, getting a dehumidifier has definitely helped. But you can get surface mold, right? And you got your moldy veggies and your moldy fruit on the counter. You can have mold growing, along the window seals. I had a wood. It was a wood bow and arrow thing, like a kid's one that was in the closet, and it got mold on it because it's wood and there's moisture in the air, and it just gets moldy. So yeah, like you have to be really, really aware of like airflow and making sure that you don't put things on the floor, and that you're wiping up, obviously the windows and everything all the time. So mold is an issue when you live by the ocean. It just is. So that's another challenge, another quirky challenge. The other thing I'm not used to is in the windstorms here. So I'm from the prairies and we do get big storms, but I'm not used to being aware, I guess, of the fact that you're not supposed to be out walking and hiking when there's a windstorm, because these trees will drop like 50-pound branches, and if they fall on you, that's really gonna hurt. And I never had to worry about that because I was always in wide open spaces. So to be like more aware of like the wind when it gets going, the howling from the trees is crazy, and you feel like the thing's gonna fall on your house or on your car, and it is really scary. Like these trees are really tall. I don't know, I should try to show you guys. Like they're just massive. So as much as I love the trees, like that's the one thing I love is hiking and stuff, you just have to be aware of like windstorms and stuff, that you're not kind of in the bush during that time, because it can be really scary. So what else? I already talked about the ferry and the isolation. That's another thing I forgot to talk about, was people saying like, it rains. How much does it rain? Do you find that hard? Yes, it rains a lot. We happen to move the time that we've had record-breaking rain, so that was interesting. Yeah, it can get pretty gloomy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it can get pretty gloomy. But like I said, in comparison to like -40 and snow, and when you can't go out and you can't do anything in the isolation, and then on top of that, when it gets gray in the prairies, like it can feel really, really, really depressing as well. So it is a challenge, but I think like anywhere, you're going to have the challenges. Like that's the ebb and flow of life, right? You're going to have the ups and the downs. So that can be a challenge. We do get a couple of dumps of snow, not very much. We've been here since November. We've only had like, I mean, we might have like snow that like falls and like melts when it comes down. I don't know, it's called sleet or something. But yeah, so, but for actual like snow, we've only had about 2 dumps, and then it like melts in a couple of days. So that's nice. I enjoy not having so much snow. I enjoy being able to like, yeah, just go outside without wearing big boots and snow pants and stuff like that. So, what are the other challenges? The pace, as much as I said before, I love that it's calm and slow. It can be almost like too slow too sometimes because I'm not used to. I'm used to being in the city. I'm used to like go go go. So, it can feel like things are really like it's like okay, like let's move. So I think that's the pitta part of me that's just like, hey, we got to get things done. So yeah, learning how to like just accept that things are a little bit slower on the coast, and there is such a thing as coastal time where people just kind of take their time. So, which is nice, but it can be a challenge. The other challenge I find here, now it wouldn't be like this everywhere, but here there's only one highway all the way up the coast and down. So when you're driving, like if anything happened, we'd be kind of like hooped. Like we wouldn't really be able to get out, to be honest, because there's just so many cars, right? So yeah, and if you're behind someone who's really slow driver, sometimes I'm the slow driver because the roads here, which is another thing, is really hard to get used to, but the roads here are like, I mean, I'm from the prairies, right? Like, I'm used to being able to, like, look around and drive. It's like, you can't do that here. You got to be so focused on what you're doing, or else you're going to end up in the ocean or on the side of the mountain. So, like, the roads are just, like, up, down, curving, you know, around. And then you've got wildlife jumping out at you, and you're like, it's like a video game. Like, you're always on edge trying to drive. So then you add in the fact that there's only one highway, and there's people behind you, like, and you're new to the area and you're driving slow, and then there's people behind you like, you know, come on, let's go, we got things to do, and you're just like, I'm not used to the roads. So that can be a challenge. And then obviously here, even though we don't get snow, we do get black ice. So it's so wet, and then it freezes. So it's something to be concerned about and something we need to watch when we're driving. So driving here is a challenge. Like, it's a big challenge. If you go farther up the coast than where we are, the roads get even more winding, and like my kids, myself, like we've all gotten nausea like driving these roads. They say that it gets easier, but honestly, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty nauseating. So that is a challenge, is driving on here. So yeah, I think the other thing that probably will be a challenge is the tourists when they come. I mean, that's probably going to change how quickly I can get places and do things. And just like having people kind of like, right now the beaches are bare, so it's like you can like go and chill out on the beach by yourself, and it's like it's wonderful. Um, yeah, so I mean, I think tourists is going to be a little bit of a challenge because yeah, it's kind of like invading your space a bit, and they're quiet. But yeah, I don't know, like I'm trying to think, like I want to make sure to like give you guys as much info as possible, because, and I'm always learning things too. Like I'm learning like everything here is like electric heat, right? So like back in Alberta, we would just like blow the heat right up, and like we'd be nice and hot. And now it's like so expensive to warm your heat with electric heat. So then we have wood, so we burn wood. But then that's a challenge to find wood, right? To find good wood, to find dry wood, to, you know, all that stuff. So that is also a challenge, is just heating our house. Yeah, we've really enjoyed heating bags, like magic bags to warm up. We've enjoyed hot baths. That's been something that we do. But yeah, that's, I think, all I can think of. Like, there's someone in my backyard area walking on the trails. But yeah, I think that's all I can think of for like more challenges that we face here. So anyways, I hope that helps you guys if you're thinking of moving to the coast or you're just curious. And opinions so that you can make some decisions for yourself. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I have got some work to do on my ebook, and yeah, we'll be talking really soon. All right, have a wonderful day, guys. See you next time.